Hey, I'm Colonel Gabruda. Today we're taking a look at the Beast Wars Scorponok reissue. Now, I found this at my local Walmart just a day or two ago, and I picked this up along with Cheetor and Rat Trap, which were on clearance. But this guy wasn't on clearance, he's new. And I'll be honest with you, I was hesitant on picking up these figures because, first of all, they're really expensive compared to the original price from the 90s. Like this Scorponok figure, for example, is $40. Second, many of the characters have been upgraded into the Kingdom toy line and look way better in terms of aesthetics, and they're being sold right alongside these reissues, and these reissues have been just sitting on store shelves for a long time, which is how I was able to get Cheetor and Rat Trap on clearance, and I do plan to review them very soon. Start things off by taking a look at the packaging. It just says here, Beast Wars, Transformers. On this corner here, it just says Scorponok and shows the things that you can do, how he's an evil Predacon. On here, it just has some multilingual stuff, ages 8 and up. You got a picture of Scorponok going at you as he's shooting a bee. You got the Kenner logo there. On the side, you got Beast Wars Transformers with an eye. That's the same artwork, and it just says Scorponok. Same thing on the other side. On the bottom, really not much else here. And on the back, you got this little card that you can cut out if you so desire, and it gives a little bio about him. Pause it if you like. And you got a story for Beast Wars. Pause it if you like. And here you got the Canon Hasbro logo, and that's basically it for the packaging. So let's open up this guy and let's see how awesome he truly is. And here we have Scorponok out of the box, and I'm going to say this is a really cool figure. Now, I do have some gripes with the figure, which we will get into, but overall, I think this is a really nice and impressive toy, even by today's standards. Now, a big difference I noticed between this and the original release from the 90s was that the 90s one was black and red, and this one's more of a gunmetal gray with some blue on it, on the claws here. But aside from that, it's pretty much the same toy, and that's the only problem I have with a lot of these Beast Wars reissues from what I've seen online, is that they don't look exactly like how they did. I mean, it's the same mold, but they have some slight cosmetic changes, which is a little annoying, but sometimes it actually improves the figure, like the Megatron reissue, which is more of a darker purple rather than a grayish purple that the original toy had. But taking a closer look, as you can see, he is quite a creepy looking fella. He's got a soul, he has no pupils in his red eyes. He's got these mandibles here. He's got some nice claws, which are big, and there's a little bit of marbling on the plastic. And speaking of the plastic, I feel like the plastic they use is a little cheap and feels very, very oily. It's kind of like that one giant purple alien queen I reviewed many months ago from Lanier Toys. And now you can look here. Got the legs, which is really bizarre because you got a line that goes to the legs, and it just looks more toyetic and not as realistic as I'd like it to. But oh well, it's a 90s toy essentially. Still got some really nice detail here. Got some metallic parts sculpted on here, which is interesting. You got this nice long tail, and I love how it was painted. When it goes from this bluish color and just fades to red. I love how that was executed. I like the little texture detail they have here as well. That is very nice. Now, as for gimmicks, there's this little lever here, and what you can do is have him strike with his tail. It's kind of awkward to do. It's really weird, but if you do it correctly, it's actually kind of a fun gimmick. I think this works a little better in the robot mode, but what you can do is have him like grab something in a battle and just have him go like that and just stabby his foes. But like I said, I just find this feature a little awkward. It's really cool, don't get me wrong, but it's just weird doing it for some reason. You just do that. So as for other gimmicks, this claw has a missile launcher. You can shoot 2 missiles, and you open it, and no, it shoots by opening up the claw. Now, that may sound cool, but it's so powerful, the springs inside are so powerful, that they'll just go miles and miles away, and they'll get lost with relative ease. So I'm going to see if I can have it shoot my hand, but even then, it'll probably bounce off or something. Here we go. There we go, and inside the claw, you can see it's 2 holes for the missiles, and it actually has a little bit of detail underneath and then inside the claw there, which is really nice. Like, it's just a small amount, but it's really interesting. And you just put them back in, and you gotta be really careful when playing with this thing, because I accidentally shot myself in the face while I was playing around with this guy before I started the review. And it can be a little tricky to get the missiles back in. There's no real way of doing it. You just gotta keep doing it until you get it in right. Nice. This one in there. Come on. Oh dear, that other one shot out. There we go. And now, go to the other claw, which, as you can see, looks like there's something in there. That's because when you shoot it, it launches a little bee, a cyber bee. Unfortunately, it's so big and it's not heavy, but because of the way it was made, it's just not really well executed. It doesn't really shoot very far, unlike the missiles. I guess it's like for close range or something, but it's actually a very convincing looking little bee, robot bee, if you will. Looks really nice, and to get it back in there, you just fold it up. Now, this is the really annoying part of the figure. Look at this little hook here. The way it's designed is so poor because not really not the hook itself is not really too sharp or pointy or anything, and it's just really rounded. So because of that, it's really difficult to put it back in there. And even if you manage to put it back in, it is very sensitive, and it's like a hair trigger. It's like the slightest touch sends it flying.
Our ritual of summoning our god, Tractatory, has been a success.
As it sends its angels to Earth to feed, we will rule the world with our new order.
Now, as for posability in this mode, you can move the arms, you get a bicep swivel, and you get a bend here. The mandibles, camera focus, can actually move. Oop, nope, roll the transformation a little bit. But, so I can get it all the way to show you. Actually, the head can kind of go up and down. And these mandibles can move, which is really cool. The legs are on a hinge, but with limited movement. The tail can swivel 360 and can go like this. And that's about it for the articulation. So let's do some size comparisons. Now, unfortunately, I do not have the Kingdom Scorponok, sadly, but we can still do comparisons with the Transformers. Here's Kingdom Optimus Primal, Kingdom Red Alert, Kingdom Rhinox, which I refuse to transform for this video because it's so frustrating. As for non-Transformers figures, here we got the high-grade Gundam Revive, and the Black Series Darth Nihilus. Alright, now let's get this figure transformed. After fiddling around with the arms and tail for a little bit, here we have the robot mode. I got this arm backwards there. There we go. Now, one thing I don't like about the robot mode right away is that the screw holes are exposed up to the front. But I guess there really wasn't much they could have done at the time with the engineering. But with this reissue, I feel like they could have fixed it somehow, but I'm not too sure. But overall, he looks really, really nice, despite not having the same colors as the original toy. Now, I do have some problems with it. For example, this doesn't really peg in to there. It's supposed to go into there, but it gets undone very easily, and it's very frustrating when you're, let's say, playing around with it or trying to pose it or something. But overall, I still think it looks really, really nice. Now, for posability, the head can swivel. If you unpeg that, it's actually easier to just sort of the head a little bit, like so. The arms rotate 360. The arms can go out that far. Get a bend here at the elbow, a swivel at the claw. Now I think I forgot to mention it earlier, but the bottom claw, the bottom of the claw that shoots the missiles, can actually open pretty wide down there. But this one, opening up, obviously activates the missiles, so you gotta be careful. Nothing at the waist. The legs are on ball joints. You get a bend at the knee. You get some toe and heel articulation because of the transformation. And the tail also can swivel, and it can't go 360. No, it cannot go 360, but it can swivel. And now, once again, for gimmicks, I feel like it's much easier to do it here in this mode. Actually, no, it's still pretty awkward, but you can have them bend down and strike the target. Yeah, it feels a lot more fluid now. You have them do that, and you got the launching projectile with the missiles and the Cyber V, which I'm not going to demonstrate again. However, a lot of the early Beast Wars figures had an interesting and unusual gimmick called the mutant masks or mutant faces or something, where basically Saw closes up and reveals this mutant head, which looks really weird and never appeared in the show. I think they were planned for these things to appear in the show, but it was scrapped for some reason. I guess those are supposed to be the equivalent of like battle masks or something. But anyway, taking a closer look at Scorponok's face, he looks like he has his mouth open. He's like, "Argh!" That's what comes to mind. But it's still a very nice head sculpt, and it looks decent to how I remember it in the show. Not a perfect representation of Scorponok, but for the time, I think this is actually pretty good. Once again, for size comparisons, here he is next to Kingdom Optimus Primal, Kingdom Red Alert, Kingdom Rhinox, High Grade Gundam Revive, and the Black Series Darth Nihilus. Overall, this figure is pretty solid. Definitely pick this guy up if you're a fan of the vintage Beast Wars figures or just a fan of Beast Wars and Transformers in general. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the notification button. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the flip side.